Caitlin, what's the status of your health right now, and what specifically injury-wise between the ankle and the groin was it that prevented you from coming back this year?
Yeah, honestly, I've been working really hard to get back to full health, and I feel like probably over these last...
What if the WNBA's Golden Girl was seconds away from walking out on the entire league? A jaw-dropping betrayal inside the Indiana Fever locker room has allegedly pushed Caitlin Clark right to her breaking point. And of course, it all circles around one teammate who fans say was publicly embarrassed and tossed aside like an afterthought. This isn't just drama. It's the collapse of a so-called loyalty pact, the kind of story that could send the entire league into meltdown. But here's the kicker. Sometimes the wildest story is the one that never even happened. The truth behind this chaos? Way messier than the fiction everyone fell for. It started as harmless online chatter, then blew up into a full-blown digital circus. The rumor claimed Fever guard Lexie Hull had been brutally cut from the team without warning. Fans were outraged. Hull, known as a gritty defender and steady teammate, was supposed to be part of Indiana's future. The move felt personal, a cold, calculated slap in the face that supposedly sent Caitlin Clark into fury mode. Social media detonated. Twitter threads multiplied like wildfire. YouTube exploded with clickbait headlines, breaking Fever betray star player's teammate. The algorithm was eating good. Engagement skyrocketed. Comment sections became battlegrounds, with fans ripping the front office apart and questioning the team's soul. Even talk shows jumped in. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion. Within 48 hours, the rumor had mutated into chaos. Some versions claimed Hull was traded. Others swore she'd been waived. Some insisted it was mutual. But on one thing, everyone agreed. Something shady had gone down, and Caitlin Clark was fuming. The speed of the chaos was jaw-dropping. What started as one sketchy, unverified post at 9:30 a.m. on a random Tuesday had morphed into the headline of women's basketball by Wednesday afternoon. Outlets that usually flex about journalistic integrity were suddenly quoting anonymous sources they couldn't even identify. Their rumor was feeding itself. Every new article or video just recycled the last one, creating an endless echo chamber of speculation disguised as reporting. To really get why this rumor exploded, you've got to understand who Lexie Hull is and what she means to the Indiana Fever. Drafted in the first round of the 2022 WNBA draft out of Stanford, Hull was a championship-tested player known for her grit and defense. She's the classic 3-and-D archetype. Knocks down shots, locks down opponents, no drama. In a league where every roster spot is gold, that kind of player is a treasure. She's not flashy, she's not filling up highlight reels like Caitlin Clark, but she's the heartbeat kind of teammate every superstar needs. She does the dirty work, guards the top scorers, sets brutal screens, makes the extra pass. She's a glue player, the one who holds everything together, until suddenly, she's gone. But what made this rumor catch fire wasn't stats. It was emotion. Hull and Clark were close. Both come from basketball families, both born competitors, both allergic to losing. Clark had publicly praised Hull in interviews as one of her most trusted teammates. Their chemistry showed on the floor. Hull sinking open threes off the defensive gravity Clark created. Off the court, they were inseparable at events and appearances, the kind of Bond fans notice. So, when whispers claimed the Fever cut Hull without even giving Clark a heads up, it felt like a dagger. It painted management as cold, clueless, and completely out of touch with their franchise star. It was the exact kind of corporate disrespect that makes superstars snap. That personal link between Hull and Clark gave the rumor emotional fuel and made it sound true, even with zero proof. Almost instantly, sources began pushing stories about Clark's furious reaction. She was reportedly livid, taking the move as a personal insult straight to the face. Caitlin Clark has a reputation for fierce loyalty, so the idea that the front office could just ditch her teammate without blinking was, apparently, too much to stomach. This wasn't a simple roster tweak, it was betrayal dressed up as business. The storyline painted the Fever as a franchise totally disconnected from its biggest star, creating a rift that looked impossible to patch. Then came the anonymous insiders, each one claiming they'd witnessed explosive drama behind closed doors. Suddenly, the internet was filled with cinematic tales of confrontation. Clark was allegedly blowing up phones, calling teammates, texting players across the league, and consulting her inner circle about what to do next. The saga grew spicier with every retelling. Some versions had her storming straight into the general manager's office. Others said she flat out refused to join team activities until justice was served. One extra juicy account insisted she'd called an emergency players-only meeting, delivering an emotional monologue about loyalty and trust, asking if anyone still felt secure under this management. Another rumor had her reaching out to other WNBA stars, asking about their own war stories and whether she should start scouting her next move once her contract expired. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever's radio silence only made things worse. The lack of response was treated like a confession. Fans were convinced if they weren't denying it, it had to be true. Local reporters scrambled for proof, but all roads led back to social media theories and recycled speculation. And of course, Clark's silence poured more gasoline on the fire. She's so angry, people claimed she can't even speak. Others whispered that her lawyers had muzzled her. Another exclusive claimed she was secretly pulling strings to get Lexie Hull reinstated. In the absence of facts, every whisper became gospel. In truth, Caitlin Clark's silence meant absolutely nothing dramatic, just a professional athlete staying locked in on her grind. But with no official info to fill the void, social media did what it does best: invent chaos. To understand why this rumor blew up like wildfire, you've got to rewind and look at the WNBA's messy history of star player meltdowns. This wasn't the first time someone accused a franchise of bad management. And, inconveniently, sometimes those accusations were dead on. The WNBA's relationship with its players has always been complicated. Smaller budgets mean big dreams meet small wallets. Players want respect, teams want receipts, and somewhere in the middle, drama brews. Facilities have been called college level, travel feels like a budget field trip, and salaries, yes, even for superstars, barely scratch what the men make. There's been real disrespect before, stars demanding trades, walking out and calling teams out publicly. That history? It made the Lexie Hull rumor sound way too believable, and the Indiana Fever weren't exactly paragons of stability either. Before Clark, they were basically allergic to winning. Coaches revolving, executives resigning, fans suffering. The team was rebuilding, which is just a nice way of saying, expect chaos. So when people heard another screw-up might have happened, they were primed to believe it. This was the perfect storm for gossip to thrive. It wasn't just some random lie, it fit the narrative. It told fans what they already suspected, that the league could still fumble greatness. And right in the quietest time of the year, too, the off-season. No games, no stats, no highlight reels, just endless scrolling and a craving for scandal. Content creators saw the gap and pounced. Then came the nuclear rumor. Clark was supposedly so disgusted she might quit the WNBA entirely. If true, it'd be the apocalypse. She's the league's lifeline, selling out arenas, breaking TV records, single-handedly rewriting the economics of women's basketball. Her leaving? That'd be a financial earthquake, and it all spiraled from one supposed act of betrayal. The numbers told the story. Clark turned 400,000 view games into one. 2 million view spectacles. Merchandise? Up 500%. Nike tripled its women's budget. Gatorade plastered her face on national campaigns. She wasn't just a player, she was an economy. Losing her meant sponsors pulling out, TV deals crumbling, and years of progress going up in smoke. Naturally, the internet went nuclear. Fans split into factions, some screaming for the Fever front office to be fired, others defending management decisions, and a third crowd asking if any of this was even real. Death threats flew. Fever execs reportedly got security upgrades. Petitions gained tens of thousands of signatures demanding Hull's return and Clark's apology. Then came the moral philosophers of Twitter. This isn't just about Clark, it's about women in sports being disrespected again. The narrative ballooned into a gender war. with outsiders chiming in for clout or chaos. Suddenly, men who'd never watched a WNBA game were sports experts. Traditional journalists were stuck in a bind. Cover it and risk looking irresponsible, or ignore it and seem irrelevant. Some wrote cautious, "We're not saying it's true, but here's everything people are saying" pieces. Others went full clickbait, dropping headlines that screamed certainty and whispered doubt. Meanwhile, the old-school reporters called it embarrassing, while younger creators laughed. We're just giving fans what they're already talking about. This whole circus exposed what modern sports media really is. A Wild West where real facts and wild fiction sprint side by side. Anyone with Wi-Fi can break news. Verification? Optional. A random tweet can move faster than a reporter's career. And the more sensational the claim, the faster it flies. Welcome to the new reality of sports gossip, where the line between rumor and headline no longer exists. Headline no longer exists.